Statesman Nation. We're here with head coach Mike Christner as we preview the 2019 softball season. Coach, appreciate you coming in for a little bit. It's definitely not softball weather out there, but you guys are playing in like 11 days. So
a little chilly.
One way or another, you're going to play. You're going to find a place to play.
Exactly.
So before we talk about 2019 and Cowtown Classic and all that fun stuff to get going, let's recap last year a little bit and as quickly as you want to, I guess.
Last year was a struggle, and every year you reevaluate and you move on.
Yeah,
there's a synopsis.
Pretty much, yeah. And you definitely moved on. Looking at the roster for this year, there's a lot of new faces, a lot of new individuals that are going to have an opportunity to get us back to what we know as Statesman softball. So, talk about, I guess, recruiting, like what you guys were looking for, because again, I know you wanted to find a certain type of player.
We went out and recruited athletes, and we've got some athletes, and I have pretty good connections across the country that help out a ton, to be honest with you. Former Penn graduates, people I've known for a while, and to be honest with you, they really stepped up and brought us some good recruits and prospects, and followed through, and we are much more athletic and much more back to what we used to be.
Yeah, and I know you've talked a lot about, you're very excited about the team chemistry. Everybody just seems to be those good kids. They just kind of get it in all aspects.
They all get along. It's been a pleasure. The first month here, all fall in. The first month that we went, and they're working hard and improving every day. And we've got a bunch of freshmen, so they're still learning, but it's been a pleasure, and it's been a pleasure to be around.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, let's get right to the actual players here. Pitchers touch the ball every time, so let's just start with the pitchers.
Katie Springer's back. She'll be our number one. We'll give her the ball every day. Shelby Copley's back. Shelby will go into a closer's role, something different I'm not used to. I'm used to giving the ball to one person and finishing, but the way the game has evolved and the way other teams' athletes have come around, you about got to mix and match. So we're going to go with the closer this year. Another starter will be Amy Russell from Colfax, Iowa. Carly Perry, Isabel Morales. They'll be main ones throwing here this year. But you also have Rachel Hasley pitches a little. Emily Nichols pitches. So
yeah,
we've got a good staff. Some of them are inexperienced, but they're a good staff.
Right. Talk about that starter closer situation. I mean, right out the gate, you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, they can go the whole game, but the idea is switching it up mid-game, so they, the third time around, then you're throwing them a completely different person, possibly.
Right, and it's exactly it. And you're also changing speeds. Right. You're going about 4 or 5 miles an hour faster with Shelby than you were. And towards the end of the year, depending how it works out, you may have Springer starting every game and Copley finishing every game. I don't know. You look ahead. Right now we've got some injuries we're battling through, or with a couple of our pitchers. So nothing major. Just trying to get ready a week away. It's not the time to be having little hiccups,
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. The other end of the battery, other side of the battery, I should say, Emily Brown is back, and it would have been a huge piece last year, but maybe a piece that she wouldn't have been able to get as much out of her senior year as she will hopefully this year, so she'll be a big piece.
Right, and Emily's a great leader. It kind of worked out for a blessing, because you've got a senior leader with a bunch of younger kids that knows the game, knows the program. She was an all-conference player that year. Didn't have her last year. Behind her is Lexi Reese, who got a lot of experience last year at catching. And Jaylene Avalos is in there, back after she didn't play last year either, took a year off. So then you got Lexi Riccardi, Maddie Garchinsky. We got a couple of junior college transfers. So, yeah, we got pretty good, solid, a lot stronger. And we got a lot more depth this year on the team. A lot of depth. Totally on everything. The whole team's a lot deeper than it was last year.
For sure. Corner infielders, go that route maybe?
Third base, got a transfer in Kaya Harper and a freshman in Whitney Stone. Both have played real well. You got Amy Madsen backing them up, who's been here for 4 years. Amy's improved her swing, hitting a lot better, and just matured over the 4 years. And then at first base, you got a transfer in Lexi Riccardi, who played on the team that got third in the state junior college team last year. So, and then you got Haley Freestone, who's been here for their third year. And behind them, you got Caitlin Frost, and I think that's it.
Oh, you're the one with the roster in front of you.
So,
go with them. You'll probably remember if there's another person. Middle infielders. Sonia Reddy definitely leads that group.
The mainstay 3-year starter will be a 3-year starter. Sonia will be going to second base. Behind her is Rachel Haslett, who filled in there last year when Sonia had to play short. Then you've also got Jackie Hernandez and Hannah Hauschel. And then at shortstop, you've got Melina Fabian, who's a freshman, who will probably get the starting job. And then you've got a junior college transfer, and Abby Young, who's very solid also, backing her up. So, like I said, we got a lot of depth.
Yeah. Outfield, a lot of new faces back there as well.
Yeah, you've got Savannah Fleming will probably go in center field, but you got Cassie Bate, a freshman, behind her. Left field, you got Lexi Reese, you got Alexa Blazik, you've got Hallie Habels in there. And then right field, you got Lindsay Lambert, Jasmine Gonzalez, Amy Russell's there also. So yeah, we've got a lot of depth, like I said, and we are deep everywhere.
And then obviously the individuals who might not fit in the picture, at least on the field, can throw their weight there at the designated player position. So who are you kind of looking at there?
Our DP to start out with will either be Kai Harper or Whitney Stone, whichever one's not starting at third base. Both present a lot of power, bring a lot of power to us. You're going to see us hit a lot harder and with a lot more run production.
Yeah, definitely. And then in turn with that, I think you also, with bringing in all these athletes, you got to assume that the team's going to be quicker and have more potential to, not per se steal bases, because that's never been really our style, but opportunity to get around a little bit quicker.
We will take advantage of their mistakes more than we have in the past. We got some kids that are good softball players, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like I said, we got good athletes, smart kids, wanting to learn, wanting to get better. We may not look good early because we got to get them acclimated to our level. But towards the middle of the year, they should kick in and take off. And it comes down to fielding the ball, which we didn't last year, and we didn't hit last year. The middle of our order is going to be pretty powerful.
Yeah. Schedule-wise, you guys, as I alluded to, we'll be going down to Texas in a little over a week. Get some good competition on there. You're going to play a bunch of teams down in Florida as well, non-conference-wise. Let's talk about the non-conference season and how that's going to prepare you for Hart play.
Well, as you know, I don't back off. So when we go to Texas, we start off with Tabor, who was in the national tournament last year. Columbia got second in the national tournament, where they're there. We play them that day. And then good, solid teams, maybe not great teams with their three, but it'll be a good challenge for us right out of the chute to see where we stand and to gauge. And then we take 2 weeks off and go into Lyon, Arkansas, which we go, or Lyon College here in Arkansas every year. We've got a third team this year, so it would be St. Mary's and them. And then we go to Florida the first week of March. And once again, we picked up 2 games at what they call the PGF place in Claremont. And lo and behold, they give us 2 national qualifiers. So that's fine. I would just as soon play that, and then we go down and play Kaiser and Weber and St. Thomas on their fields. And then we have Rochester team coming in to play us on Kaiser's field, and then we get into Hart.
Definitely, yeah. And then the Hart, you have the likes of Central Methodist and Grandview have been the steady teams, national qualifying teams as the last few years, but the likes of also Mid-American Nazarene is going to be solid. Mount Mercy is another year older in that they were very young and they've only gotten better every year. There, other teams are going to be solid, and we're picked at probably a fairly fair 11th in the conference, but definitely not somewhere that William Penn hopefully will be at the end of the year.
Right, and you're missing Baker.
And Baker. Totally Baker with Olivia.
Baker has the #1 pitcher,
Olivia
arguably
Breeze,
in the conference, and and they were the 3 national qualifiers: Grandview and Central Methodist and Baker, and that's how they were picked this year.
Totally.
The 11th choice, no qualms.
Yeah.
Okay, to going off last year's what you go by, we deserve. That's about right.
Yeah.
Do I think we're better than that? Yes. How soon we're going to get there depends how soon our youngsters come on, because we could start 4 freshmen at any one point this year.
Right. That's good. You know, you'll have 15 games or whatever before conference starts, and then, you know, hopefully those 15 games will be the ones that, you know, maybe you don't win as many, but you figure things out, and then you get into hard play where it actually matters, and those, you could pick up a lot more wins. So just overall, you know, expectations for this season, again, with so many new individuals, so many young individuals.
Expectations is to continue to grow. I've had former players ask me, and this is one of the more athletic, talented teams that we've probably had in the last 5 or 6 years, and that includes a couple of conference championships.
Right.
So talent-wise and that, attitude-wise and everything else, they just got to understand there's going to be some frustrations and not get buried in them and just learn to move on,
Right.
because that's part of growing up.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Coach. Well, best of luck this season. Again, be Cowtown Classic down in Fort Worth next weekend, and then again a couple weeks off. And before you know it, we'll be home in March and have a whole bunch of games here at Penn Field. So best of luck. Everything William Penn softball, William Penn, everything is at statesmanathletics.com. All right, thanks, Coach. Best
Thank
of
you.
luck.